With less than a week away before Jing Yuan's banner, everyone is looking for information in regards to Jing Yuan and the characters that are going to be alongside him on his banner. Now, I can say this at the very least, at the very start, that Jing Yuan's banner has some insane value. But there is one thing we need to talk about later in the video, which is there's going to be a good amount of characters that will be coming out in version 1.1 after Jing Yuan. That's going to make it a little bit harder to summon for him, knowing what they do. But we'll be getting into that in a quick minute. So before we get into all that, make sure to leave a sub and a like on the video if you're enjoying the Honkai style rail content. I also cover Genshin and Honkai Impact as well. So if you like any of those games, make sure to do so as well. But let's go ahead and start talking about Jing Yuan. Now, Jing Yuan is a little bit of a special character as well. Just like I said, Sele, she had a really high bar to hold on to just because she was our first premier DPS unit, which is her single target. Now, she does have certain circumstances that make her deal basically AoE damage with how she's able to get an extra turn off of enemy defeats. But Jing Yuan is our prioritized AoE damage dealer, the erudition DPSer. Now, this is really good. He's going to be absolutely destroying waves, destroying enemies. He's going to be putting out some high numbers, especially with his ultimate and his lightning lord mechanic, which we'll be talking about in a quick minute. But yes, Jing Yuan has some really good things to him and some really good value that he brings to the table. Now, the other thing that we also need to talk about is that his 4 stars. His 4 stars are absolutely amazing when it comes to the value that they bring. Is Sushang, Tingyun, and March 7th. Now, all of these units across the board are in many teams, especially Tingyun being one of the best buffers in the game, Sushang being one of the best physical DPSs in the game, and then March 7th just being overall a very good shielder and a very core mechanic team to Clara's team. So we're going to be covering over all of those in a quick second, but let's go ahead and start talking about Jing Yuan in specific. So Jing Yuan, of course, he's going to be our erudition lightning AoE DPS. And with a lot of his skills and his ultimates and his talents, we're going to be talking about the lightning lord mechanic because this is going to stack up based on what you do. So for Jing Yuan's normal attack, of course, single tap to an enemy, not really anything that needs to be explained. For the skill, you're going to be doing AoE damage and you're going to be getting 2 stacks of lightning lord. So this is going to play in a part in a quick second when we talk about what the lightning lord does. For Jing Yuan's ultimate, he's going to do AoE again and also increase the stacks by 3 for Lightning Lord. So remember, skill is 2, ultimate is 3, and this will play into Lightning Lord when we talk about it in a quick second. Now, for one of his talents is going to be summons Lightning Lord at the start of the battle. Now, this Lightning Lord has its own base speed and attack count, which it starts with 3. So if you do the ultimate, it's going to be 6, and if you do the skill, it's going to be 8, or if you do the skill by itself, it's going to be 5. So depending on how you play Jing Yuan, if you only use the skill by the time the Lightning Lord comes out, then it's only going to be 5. If you only use his ultimate, then it's going to be 6, and if you use all of them together, it's going to be 8. So you do have to get that extra stack or that extra count somewhere else, and it does come out when we talk about it in a quick second. But like I said, Lightning Lord has his own 60 base speed, and he also has 3 base attack counts, and these attacks are considered to be follow-up attacks. So for his light cone, for other 4-star light cones, for the simulated universe, there's going to be a lot of applications where you can use this follow-up attack and get it buffed like crazy. Now, the Lightning Lord is of course going to inherit the attack from Jing Yuan, and he's also going to be able to attack adjacent targets to whoever is receiving the Lightning Lord attack. So that's really good for AoE circumstances. Jing Yuan's kit just overall has a bunch of AoE. Now, the Lightning Lord attack count can only reach up to a max of 10, and we will be telling you how you get the last 2 stacks from the Lightning Lord count in a quick second. And also, if you lose Jing Yuan in battle, you are going to lose the Lightning Lord mechanic. So the Lightning Lord mechanic is going to be taken away from the queue, and you are going to basically have to deal without him until you res Jing Yuan, unless you have Bailu. And then also for every attack count that he has, of course, with each stack, you're going to be increasing the attack count, and you're also going to be increasing the speed by 10. And once this is done, the first attack, it will reset all of it, and you have to rebuild these stacks. Now, one thing to make sure of is the only way to get the 10 stacks is at the very start of the battle is going to be your first eventual hit, because you do need to use Jing Yuan's technique, which is going to give you 2 attack counts at the start of the battle if you use the technique in the overall. So there are a lot of things that Jing Yuan can do. Now, his traces are absolutely insane in all honesty, because they help a lot with crit damage and crit rate. And holy crap, you have no idea how nasty this is going to be if you have the right relics. So for his traces, one of them is going to be regenerate 50 energy at the beginning of the battle. That's already very strong for him to have by itself. The second trace is going to be when the Lightning Lord attack count is greater than 6, your crit damage is increased by 20%. So yeah, that is crazy. And then the last one is after using your skill, crit rate is increased by 10% for 2 turns. And as I said before, you're going to be using the skill anyway to be able to increase the attack count on the Lightning Lord. So this is insane for you to have a free crit rate buff and a free crit damage buff just for doing what you have to do with Jing Yuan. So yes, Jing Yuan is going to be very, very crazy. He's going to be an absolutely amazing DPS, but we are going to be talking about some of the difficulties that he will have in a quick second when it comes to his value in the future, and also the other banner characters that will be coming in version 1.1. Now, of course, for the 4 stars, all of these 4 stars are absolutely amazing. One of the best and most highlighted units, of course, being Tingyun. Tingyun is overall an amazing character. Her ult gives you energy. Her ult gives you a damage buff. She gives you an attack buff from her skill. Some of these can also increase your speed on Eidolons. Like, there is just so much that Tingyun can do. She's a very good support character. Definitely someone you want to build up for sure, because she will be playing a part in one of the 2 teams that you have to build in order to get Forgotten Hall done, to get Simulated Universe done, all that type of stuff. Yes, you might want to build Tingyun because she is very, very strong no matter what. And Tingyun is also able to use a light cone that's also able to deal extra damage, or to be able to buff extra damage based on having someone else on the team with the same element. So having Tingyun and Jing Yuan, with Tingyun having the light cone for that, yeah, you're gonna get some nasty damage coming from it, and being able to buff Jing Yuan's team up, or buff up Jing Yuan himself, is going to be a very good pro to have for Tingyun. Sushang by herself, there's not much to say about it. She's just an overall amazing physical DPS character. She's one of the best besides Clara, so I do think she's very strong to build up. If you don't have a physical DPS, if you don't have Clara, I do think Sushang is 100% worth the investment, because she hits so many times. She's able to advance forward her actions so many times with her ult. She just does so much, and she does a good amount of damage. So Sushang is absolutely amazing when it comes to having her as a 4-star. And then March 7th, well, I can't really say anything else. You do know how she plays because you've been playing her since the tutorial. March 7 is just an overall amazing character. She's able to give you a really bulky shield, of course, at the cost of you having taunt, but in certain teams like Clara's team, this is actually a pro to have. And another thing is that she's able to counter, she's able to freeze. She has a lot of different utility in her kit that's going to help out the team by a flat margin. But after we've talked about the banner, of course, which his banner does seem absolutely amazing for sure, we have to remember that Jing Yuan is a DPS. Now, the reason why I say this is a difficulty is because DPSs in gacha games, especially at the very beginning of gacha games, are going to be very, very power crept in the future. Of course, you can still use it, and I do want to say this before I start talking about the negative sides to this banner, is that, of course, this is your account. You do what you want, your gems, you do what you want, you summon who you want. It's just for fun. You are playing against no one. This is a single player game, so you make sure you have the most fun that you possibly can, because it's not like you're racing someone. But when it comes to meta, when it comes to being optimal, Jing Yuan is of course going to be a really quick character to get power scaled, and so is Sele. I summoned for Sele, I got her light cone. I think I'm still gonna get Jing Yuan as well, and his light cone. But you have to keep notice for a lot of the free to play players that Jing Yuan will be power crept in the future. We don't know how long it will take for that to happen. We do have Serval, which was a free-to-play character, which is amazing as well. So you have to weigh your pros and cons when thinking about Jing Yuan and summoning for him. If you want him, go ahead. If you're on the fence, well, you might want to listen to what I say next. So the next 2 characters that are going to be coming out for version 1.1 is going to be Silverwolf and Luocha. Now, these 2 characters are both supportive characters, which means their shelf life on your team, or shelf life for your account, is going to be exponentially higher than a DPS would. Silverwolf is going to be a supportive character in regards to giving debuffs to the enemies, making them lose defense, attack, and also adding another weakness to the character if they don't already have one that's from your team. That is a very strong ability to have. And Luocha is going to be an offensive healer, one that is able to cleanse very quickly, one that is able to do AoE healing, standby healing. There's a lot that you get from Luocha because he is a healer, and we have very scarce amount of healers because we only have Natasha and Bailu. So those are the only 2 healers that you can have at the moment, which of course, with those only being the 2 ones that you have, and also Natasha being the only free-to-play one that we have, while Bailu is a standard character who we have no idea when you're going to get her, because unless you want to spend your pity, the 300 pity on Bailu, you're not going to really see Bailu in a minute unless you get lucky on your 50-50 loss, which of course you don't want to lose your 50-50. So Luocha and Natasha are the most attainable, in all honesty, in regards to having, you know, Bailu being the standard banner and being very random chance. Luocha is a very strong character, and with the scarce amount of healers that are in the game, and the fact that you need 2 teams for Forgotten Hall and maybe future content in the future, Luocha seems to be very high on the priority list when it comes to value. Now, we don't know what their 4 stars are. We do know Yukong is going to be on the banner with them. Eventually, we'll know which one or which banner they're going to be on. But like as I said before, Luocha is very high in the priority list, and Silverwolf being able to reduce attack, reduce defense, buff damage, buff the chance, or give you a chance to have another weakness on the enemy equal to whatever's on your team. that's absolutely a busted ability to have, and that ability seems like it'll be future proof for, I don't know, maybe until this game lasts, because that's just so strong. Being able to add whatever weakness to whatever your team has is just a very strong ability. So you have to remember that, as I said before, Jing Yuan is going to be a very great character in terms of damage. He's going to do really good when it comes to AoE, but for Luocha and Silverwolf, who's coming right after him, there are some replacements for Jing Yuan. You can run Serval, you can choose another element that boss or that enemy has. There's a lot of different replacements for Jing Yuan. Of course, if you want Jing Yuan, go ahead and summon for him. I hope you have the best of luck when it comes to grabbing him on your pulls. But remember, Luocha, who is a healer, or Silverwolf, who is a debuffer, is going to be very, very, very strong when it comes to using them in the future and whatever content that might be coming out, because they seem to be future-proof for a very, very long time, unlike Sele and Jing Yuan, of course. But other than that, that's pretty much it when it comes to this video. Of course, I hope everyone has the best of luck when they come out. I will get a video out and a guide out for Jing Yuan, for Luocha, for Silverwolf when they come out. So make sure to leave a sub if you are interested in those. I will also be making videos covering other 4-star characters, because I know a lot of people like these 4-star characters that have already been out in the game for a while and they still don't know a way to build them. They still don't know how to use them. So this will be something that will be on my priority list. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching all the way to the end of the video. See y'all in the next one, and peace.